What happens when two outrageously different musical ideas meet up over one quarantine period while you're binge watching a show that used to run on Nickelodeon that you still feel nostalgia for and won't stop listening to the soundtrack to? Hold still and you'll find out.
Sometimes it just works out like that. Other times you seem to fall.
All right, so the song we're talking about today is Hold Still. Now, this really is the marriage of two vastly different ideas that I had musically. One of them started in the fall of 2019, where I'd said to a friend of mine that I wanted to write a 4-chord song because why not? You know, the world has a lot of them, but they tend to work. So why shouldn't I write a 4-chord song? Then in December of 2019, I saw Mavis Staples. And that was a life-changing show for many reasons. But it was a music that I had never heard live before. I had never heard gospel and soul to that effect. And I was in the front row for it. Charlie Musselwhite was the opener, and he came out and played some songs. But there was just something very, very special about that show. There was so much history and so much emotion in that show. And I remember I came home, and I think that week I had bought a tremolo pedal because I wanted to try to write, you know, like a gospel soul song like this. And I came up with this riff, this. And I think I even put lyrics to it, and I was going to have my friend sing it. I put my hand out, pick you up when you're feeling down. I hold my arms out, let you know you're not alone, child. Something like that. I haven't. This is the first time I've come back to that idea in a long time. So flash forward a couple months and we end up shutting the world down. And then now all of a sudden it's April of 2020. I don't really know what to do anymore. We've done Push My Swing already. At least most of it had been written. But I think one thing happened over the quarantine of 2020. I think we can all kind of agree on, at least the majority of us, is that there was a tremendous amount of nostalgia that went on. And for me, that nostalgia was, I found my DVDs of The Adventures of Pete and Pete, which was a Nickelodeon show in the early 90s. And just a fantastic show. And I just started binge watching it, and I found season 3 on YouTube. But my buddy Mike Carisse and I were texting each other almost every single day because we were watching it kind of together and listening to a lot of Polaris, which is the band that wrote all the music to The Adventures of Pete and Pete. And it's a phenomenal album. It's so, so good. And we were talking about how it would be great just to write a song kind of like those guys, these kind of carefree things. And I don't remember exactly how I landed on the concept of what this song was going to be. I think I remember writing, I decided just to go with something, because I'm capo too, like I always am. And I didn't even mean to do a 4-chord bit, but I had this. We wanted something that was a little bit more talk singy, and so we came up with that. I remember writing the first verse and kind of going, you know, I kind of like this. And that sometimes it just works out like that. Sometimes it seems to fall flat, you know, I don't mind falling down if it gives me the chance to land. Just a little bit of optimism there, you know. But something that was laid back of the throat, kind of lazily talked and sung along. And we made it through that whole verse. I don't know what he said to you, and I sure as hell don't know what you'll do, but maybe in a week or two, you and I can try to make it. I think we can make it. And I didn't know what to do. So I went back to this idea I had from writing this gospel song where I went, there's that progression again. But you won't hold still so I can catch you, since you've had me all along. You won't hold still so I can catch you, so I'm back where I belong. And just that verse and that chorus was enough for me to go, okay, we've got ourselves a Pete and Pete style song that is taking two different ideas that I've had for months and putting them together. Man, this is just a win-win, right? So there wasn't a whole lot of thought into how that second verse was going to go. We were just going to kind of keep this as a story a little bit like Big Pete and Ellen from this show, where they're like, she's a girl and a friend, but she's not a girlfriend. And they go back and forth a lot in the show. And I mean, it was very easy for me to tie into a lot of feelings I used to have about people that I was close to, but yet still had I had romantic feelings for, I think all of us have been there. And so it was kind of that. And I loved that lyrical concept of, you won't hold still so I can catch you, because you have actually had me this whole time. There was no reason to complicate any of this stuff. There's verse, chorus, and then the bridge, which doesn't even go out of the progression really. It just comes in on the C sharp minor, or B minor with the capo on the. I'm in the back seat, pushing down in my imaginary brake. Just have a look, see. I don't know just how much more I can take. And the other interesting thing about this song is I never ever all of my guitar solos or little guitar lines, riffs and stuff like that they're usually born out of improv, and this one was not. This bit. I wrote that, I think, the day that I wrote the rest of the music, because it falls right back into the intro. Which is actually a ripoff of the Hey Sandy intro, which was the theme song to Pete and Pete. So that's the other homage that's in there. So all of those things were all written kind of in the arrangement because we wanted it to be just like a 2.5 minute, nice little punchy pop song. The one big thing is, if you listen to one side of the channel, which when we pull the project up, we'll have a better idea what that is. You have an acoustic guitar that's doing these stabs, and the other one is my Strat that's just going. I don't mind you coming here, wasting all my time, right? It reminds me of that. But one of my favorite things about the recording of this song was the bass. So let's take a look at the bass part, because as a not bass player who's trying to learn how to play better bass, this was the first time that I had put down a bass line that I was really proud of. And if this series is going to be informative, it might as well be celebratory as well. So I think I only kind of glanced over this instrument in my intro video, but this is my 4-string Ibanez bass that I bought in 2002, probably, at the Sam Ash on Fowler and like Bruce B. Downs or Del Mabry or something like that in Tampa. This is the bass that you hear on the entirety of Hudson Avenue. This is the only bass that I have, and right now it's just running through a junky little Gorilla amp. So capo 2, this in a D formation, this puts us in the key of E. And I remember I have a guitar at work that I usually that's how all the arrangements come out and all the parts. And I sat down with that and I was like thinking about it. And so here's what the verse bass part is. Let's see how well I do. So I'm a lot of times when I do the bass, like a few years ago, if I would have recorded this in 2020, it would have gone like this. Whatever the next. You know, it would have been so simple and bad. And this isn't complicated or good, but it's very different. And then here's the chorus bass line. One thing I haven't gotten over is as I'm trying to learn bass, I have to do it with a pick, and I got to do it way down here and muted. I don't know why, but the sound in my head is always that way, unless Tony Smith's playing bass, and then everything sounds beautiful. So I don't know if I ever put a band together and Tony has time enough to do it. I'm sure this bass line is going to sound amazing. Actually, whatever he would write would sound more amazing. But that's the bass part, and it's something that, like, I remember recording it that day and just going, man, this is fun. All right, so we've got the master up here from GarageBand, and Jesse is playing drums for us under funk rock on the Smash kit. And it sounds a little something like this. No, that is not the right button to press, Dan. Here's that bass part. So you got that going. There's your rhythm section. I told you there was a acoustic guitar on one side that was doing it was acoustic capo 2 muted with these stabs, and that's straight in, that's direct. And then the other side, let's go back to the beginning there instead. Well, I'm not really muting that acoustic guitar. It's a very sloppy strum, which I love. I love sloppiness. And then my homage to Polaris here, Muggy's like over chorus guitar comes in on the chorus. We got this. It's phase, a lot of chorus. Always dug that. Let's have a listen at some vocals, because what we did, I noticed here, is when the chorus comes in, I did a take of the melody using the telephone vocal. So here's what the vocal sounds like. Come on back up. Coming into it, just the two voices.
Maybe in a week or two, you and I can try to make it.
Sloppy, and then this telephone vocal over the chorus.
But you won't hold still so I can catch you, since you've had me all alone. You won't hold still so I can catch you, so I'm back where I belong.
Way up there just to kind of give it some top end, and then I got my chorus girls in the background right here.
You won't hold still, you won't hold still, you won't hold still, you won't hold.
All together now. This is the entirety of the chorus.
But you won't hold still so I can catch you. Since you've had me all alone, still you won't hold still, so I can catch you. So I'm back where I belong.
The other thing I found out that I don't recall doing, but it's here and it must be on the thing, is that there's a big fat distorted guitar that's doing Soul Man riffs in the chorus as well. Which is kind of fun. And then we bring him back during the second verse, which there's actually the bass kind of brightens up and takes over. Here I am once again to catch you as you fall. And then the guitar. And then it probably goes. Our chorus guitar. All together now. Oh, there's a different drum in the bridge. It probably moves to toms. Let's see here. Yep. There's a hand clap in there. So let's listen to that. Let's listen to the transition from one drum to another, because that's got to be fun. We'll leave that guitar part in there. That's pretty smooth, in my opinion. I don't know, you guys tell me. And then when we come out of the bridge, guitar solo. Once again, we got pretty heavily distorted on the left, but kind of clean on the right all together. The final chorus. Guitar part. I was very proud of this song when I first wrote it. I was very excited to start playing it live, and it felt good for a little while, but like always, when I tell you guys, I don't really keep a whole lot of secrets when it comes to this kind of stuff. I struggle with Hold Still live nowadays because where the melody sits for the verse, and actually for all the parts, for the verse, chorus, and even the bridge, it's all kind of right here. I don't know what he said to you, and I sure as hell you won't hold still. Actually, the chorus is just a little bit lower. I'm in the back seat. And so, musically, dynamically, chord-wise, sure. There's excitement, there's difference, there's things that make it work, and it's something that I'm hung up on. This song gets streamed quite often, so thank you very much for that. But yeah, I mean, that's Hold Still. It's just, I like that. I like this song a lot. It was another one of those things that reminds me of what it was like during the quarantine of COVID. And Pete and Pete and the songs from Pete and Pete by Polaris it's music that I go back to pretty frequently. And it reminds me of a good time. It reminds me of a lot of things that were going on at that time, and then how I remember things. And yeah, it was exciting. This was a fun song to write and a fun song to work on. So I hope you enjoy it. And that is Hold Still.
I'm in the backseat, pushing down in my imaginary brake. Just have a look, see. I don't know just how much more I can take.